Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is episode 148 in the Throwback Thursday series I'm doing using old makeup. Not oogie old, just not talked about old. And just like last week, for 2025, we are doing a palette bingo on Throwback Thursdays, just to mix it up a little bit. I recently filmed my palettes of 2024 video. I think it's up. I think. And if I'm right, and it is, and I remember correctly, I mentioned combining the Unearthly Charmer palette with the Sigma Corderosa palette. So I thought, let's do that today. This is the Corderosa, which I'm sure you've seen 50 bazillion times. And we have the Charmer palette, which I actually did just use a shade out of a couple days ago. So here's what I'm thinking. Instead of doing two different sets of numbers, what if I act like this is one palette with 26 shades, with the Charmer palette on top and Sigma on the bottom. That gives us a 26 pan palette. I'll insert a photo so you can see what I'm talking about. And so why not go 1 through 26? Number 1 would be Charmer, 2 Weakness, 3 Intrigue, blah, blah, blah. And then we would end with Corderosa from the Sigma palette. This, I think, could be fun. So I'm going to pull up my little app that I did end up paying for the thing. It's like $6 a year, and it did not transfer my other list. So I've got a lot of work to do. Anyway, let's generate 5 numbers. I already put in 1 through 26. So we've got 16, and the next number, 20. And shadow number 3 is 8. And then we have number 5. And the last eyeshadow is number 24. Dumber Bood. Okay, here's the color story. I mean, not bad at all. Gonna be pretty easy, I think, to create a look. This is the Dark Nightshade from Sigma. This is Romancer from Charmer, Sweet Talk from Charmer, Bare Root from Sigma, and Damask from Sigma. So let me give this a quick think and figure out what I want to do, and I will come right back and start piling eyeshadows on. Okay, I think I have a plan. We'll see how it goes, but I mainly just want to be able to do things that are a little bit different. So I'm going to take the shade Damask on my Shodo 03 from Refer. The Damask shade is from the Sigma palette. And I'm going to blend that through my crease / transition area. I think this could be cute, hopefully. Maybe a little different than something I've been doing recently. It's really pretty. I can say 100% that there is nothing wrong with the mattes in this palette. Absolutely love the mattes. Funny enough, the one non-matte that I got from this palette is the one I don't like. Which is, you know, a risk with doing a palette bingo. But thankfully, I decided to pair this palette with something else. I think my plan will work. Susan, excuse me, holy moly. Susan encouraged me to get this palette and also said that she thought it made a good companion palette, and I'm excited to use it that way. Okay, so that's pretty much that shade on. Now I'm going to go into the shade Bare Root. I don't know why that's so hard for me to see and say, but it is. And that is also from the Sigma palette, and that's going to go on just out here. Oh, that's interesting. I swatched these on the back of my hand, the other hand, trying to kind of get an idea of what they would look like next to each other or layered or, you know, whatever. And this did not swatch well at all. And it definitely didn't appear to go on very dark. So, all right, on this not used Refer 13, I mean, it's used, but it's cleaned off. I'm just gonna blend out that Bare Root shade. We're really just using it for depth out here. I mean, beautiful. I'm just going to take whatever's left on the brush and bring it down to my lower lash line. Because my eyes are pretty darn wrinkly out here, I bring my shades out and down farther than what, I don't know, we might imagine is the correct placement, but I want to disguise the wrinkles as much as I can. So if I don't bring the shade down far enough, the wrinkling and everything can make this look crickered, so it doesn't look right. I don't know if that makes sense, but trust me, on the sunscreen, it works. All right, now I'm going to take my Sigma Singe Beauty E01 into the shade Dark Night from the Sigma palette. I am not a fan of this shade. I wasn't the first time I used it, although when I was swatching it on my hand for comparison and to see what it would look like, I really went in and roughed it up. This shade feels creamy, like thick and not wet, but almost. But that actually looks really, really good. Okay, my phone seems to have copped an attitude, so while I was trying to figure it out, I did the other eye. So, I did not fix it. I don't know how to at this point. I've tried everything I can think of. So we are just going to hope that I can get the rest of this filmed without it cutting off on me without my realizing it. So, we've used all but the two shades from Unearthly. So now I'm going to go in with that same Singe Beauty E01 into the shade Romancer. And that I'm going to pile all over the Dark Night shade from Sigma. which I ended up actually kind of liking more than I thought I would, because the first time I used it, I was really not a fan. But I think the answer is you just got to be a little aggressive with it, because that seems to have done the trick. Got it on and looking pretty darn good. But I still wanted to put this Romancer shade on top, because I just think it adds some sparkle and it's so pretty. Yeah, okay. In hopes of not making my phone cranky, I'm going to go off camera, finish the other eye, do my face. I'm gonna take the Sweet Talk shade, which was that like kind of purpley one from Charmer, and that's gonna go along my lower lash line, and I'm going to put Romancer from the Charmer palette on top of that. I think it'll be cute. And then possibly use Sweet Talk as my inner corner and maybe layer a highlighter over it if it's too dark. So let me go do all of that, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look, and that'll be this Thursday's Throwback Thursday done and dusted. I'm back and everything is done. Let me scoot you in for an up close reconnoiter at the eyes. Okay, I made an executive decision while I was off camera doing my face. I still had the shade Sweet Talk to use out of the 5 eyeshadows. That's the one I didn't use. So I took that on the inner corner and the lower lash area underneath on the inside. Lower means underneath, Jan. So the lower lash inner corner. And then I sort of swooped it up towards my brow like I do sometimes with a highlight, really lightly, because I didn't want it to be, you know, too wild and crazy. And I decided to leave it there. I didn't add a highlight or a shimmer to my inner corner. And I like it. It's a little something different, you know, nothing crazy, but it's just a little something that, I don't know, I think changes it up a little bit and makes it a little interesting. Or I'm delusional, which is totally fine. I feel good. Anyway, I really, really like this look. I'm actually glad that I got that, why can't I ever remember the name of it? Because I disliked it so much. Dark Night. I did not want that shade. Like, I knew going into this, I didn't love it. And I think I used all of the shimmers in this before. So it was really the only one I didn't like. But now I'm like, okay, you just got to get rough with it. I usually don't go too aggressive. I think that brute force is usually not the answer, but there is like a teeny sliver of times when brute force has to be the answer. And I just needed to use some with that shade. I'm so excited. I mean, I definitely think it looks prettier and sparklier and more fun with the Romancer. Did I add an ER? Should I have added the ER? I said it right, with the Romancer shade on top, because it's just like sparkly and pretty. So I don't know, I really like this. I'm super excited to hear what you think about this. Hopefully, and I'm not just being delusional, I did line my eyes with a brown liner because I figured with the like reddish maroon-ish shades and the brown, a brown liner would make my eyes look bluer, which would look pretty cool with the reddy kind of maroon shades. So it was a conscious choice to go that route. But that is Throwback Thursday, episode 148, done and dusted. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.